You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast of All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, be sure to follow the podcast on Spotify. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Make sure you go to our Facebook page, get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. All right, so on today's podcast, I wanted to talk about the upcoming NBA All-Star Game. And do you feel that some players might have been snubbed or left off for different reasons? I saw a lot of that going around. A lot of people saying that, guys like Trae Young was snubbed, guys like Devon Booker. You even had LeBron James come out and say Devon Booker is the most slept on player, the most disrespected player in the NBA today. Now, I don't follow much Utah Jazz basketball, but I even saw where a lot of people were saying that even Mike Conley was left off and he should have been one of the reserves voted in. So I wanted to ask, were there any real all-star snubs this year? And at first, I didn't see it. I was fine with how it was, with who was selected. And I started to see people were calling for Ben Simmons, saying that Ben Simmons should not have been an all-star. I went and looked up his numbers. He's putting up 16 points, 8 boards, 7 assists a game. Not bad. He's averaging almost a triple-double. You can't you can't dispute facts, and those are facts. The guy, he's balling in his own right. But I went and looked at his teammate, who was Tobias Harris. I thought Tobias Harris was having a same impact on his team just as much as Ben Simmons, and I probably would have chosen Tobias. If I had to choose a Sixer, I probably would have chosen Tobias Harris over Ben Simmons. Tobias Harris he's averaging 20 points, 7 boards, 3 assists a game. And Ben Simmons' game is for the guy to be doing what he's doing, his game is limited. So Ben Simmons gets the most out of his talents. Now, Father Time is going to come one day, and it's going to take that athleticism from him. So he is going to have to expand his game. Because of that, I probably would not have chosen Ben Simmons. So I probably would have chosen his teammate. Even if it wasn't his teammate, I'm looking at other guys. I'm looking at Devon Booker. Devon Booker is averaging 25, 3, and 4. 25 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists a game. Guy, look, Devon Booker is going to give you everything he has. He goes in, night out, gives it to you. You can make a case that he was snubbed. Even Trae Young, I looked up something with Trae Young. Trae Young is averaging 25 points, 9 assists a game. Trae Young is the first guy to be left off an all-star in 30 years who is averaging those numbers. So in 30 years, pretty much anybody who's averaging 25 points and 9 assists a game is going to be selected for the All-Star game. But the buck stops with Trae Young. Look, Atlanta sports is really disrespected. In any sport, really doesn't matter. If you play for Atlanta, you're going to be overlooked. Now, as I looked at Zach Levine, I wanted to see what Zach Levine was doing. Zach Levine surprised me. I looked up what Zach Levine was doing. I'll admit, another team I don't watch now. I don't watch Bulls basketball. I don't know who's turning in, I can't say who's turning in because I went to Chicago a while back and I actually took in a Bulls game while I was in Chicago. Zach Levine was on the team, but Zach Levine is averaging 28 points, 5 boards, 5 assists a game, and so I can't leave Levine off. So the only guy who was borderline would be Ben Simmons. Now, to be honest, a lot of these guys get snubbed because of their team's records. I don't agree with it. I don't think an all-star should be selected based on where his team is in the in the standings. You know, it's an all-star game. I'm not being recognized for what my team is doing. It's not a team accomplishment. So I'm one of those people who I have no problem if your team is one of the worst teams in the league and you make an all-star game. Russell Westbrook is averaging almost a triple-double. 19 points, 9 boards, 9 assists a game. The man is a walking triple-double. I'm not big on Russell Westbrook's game, but if you were going to go the route of Ben Simmons and what he's doing, I probably would have chosen Russell Westbrook over Ben Simmons. Not probably, I would have. If you're going to go the route of he's averaging almost a triple-double, I'm going to take the point guard in Russell Westbrook, who's only 1 point off of everything. 19, 9, and 9. That's what Russell Westbrook is averaging. So, yeah, there were some snubs. I probably would have put Westbrook in ahead of Trae Young. So it would have been between Devon Booker and Russell Westbrook. Truth be told, as bad as this sounds, because I'm not a Westbrook guy, Westbrook would have gotten Ben Simmons' spot to me. Looking at the numbers, looking at everything. Remember, I don't take records, standings into account. If you're an all-star, you're an all-star. One of the reasons I say that now, for you young kids, there's a guy, you probably won't know this guy, but there was a guy back in the 90s, in late 90s, Sharif Abdul Rahim was his name. And he was a power forward. And you got to remember, the game was different back then. The post was fed a lot, which is where you would find Sharif Abdul Rahim when he played with not the Memphis Grizzlies, but the Vancouver Grizzlies. So his game was really post heavy, but he was a guy, he can knock down the 15-footer, but he was going to back you down and punish you down in the paint. So Sharif Abdul Rahim averaged 20 points, 8 boards, and 1 block his first 5 years in the league in Vancouver. Did not make one all-star game. Not one all-star game. But they were putting in guys like, let's say the Dikembe Mutombo. Mutombo's offensive work wasn't all that. Defense, top of the line. I can't dispute nothing there. We're going to go defense. Give me Mutombo over Sharif Abdul Rahim any day. But, Sharif was, and I'm saying that, they played in different conferences. So, forgive me for that. But, I remember growing up and Sharif was getting overlooked. And he was only being overlooked because he played for the lowly Vancouver Grizzlies. But Sharif Abdul Rahim had game. And I even saw something where Ron Harper came out and spoke. And Ron Harper said that, excuse me, Ron Harper came out and said that, look, guys are going to get overlooked all the time. If you want to have people remember you, go and win championships. And I agree with that. An all-star isn't everything. It's not the end-all, be-all to make an all-star team. And I say that because when you go over to baseball, remember the guy, one of my favorite players growing up, Chipper Jones, played for the Atlanta Braves. Chipper Jones won the MVP the year that he was snubbed for an all-star selection. Let that sink in. Chipper Jones was not selected to the MLB All-Star, but he won the MVP of his league. So I want guys to let that sink in. Just because you don't make an All-Star team, look, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end all, be all. Were there guys that were snubbed? I'm going to say yes, there is. I would have put Russell Westbrook in instead of Ben Simmons. Zach Levine is in. I don't know why people are saying that Zach Levine should not have gotten in. Looking at his numbers and his production this year, Zach Levine has been balling. I can't take nothing away from the guy. But Russell Westbrook, I would have put him in over Ben Simmons. Then I probably would have gone Trae Young, then Devon Booker. Well, you know what? I can't go Devon Booker. Tobias Harris, then Devon Booker. I mean, look, Devon Booker is... It's nothing more I can say about the guy. The guy balls. But he, unfortunately, the way the All-Star system is constructed now, I don't like it anyway. I wish it would go back to the old East-West format. You know, I don't like how they choose the starters, you know, and then you'll have a team captain who will choose, you know, they'll choose from a pool of the reserves, you know, who they want on their team. You know, so I don't like it, but I will admit the All-Star game was entertaining last season. Last year, it was very entertaining. So, yeah, guys did get overlooked. Simmons will not be an All-Star, looking at his numbers, but he's an All-Star because he's on a winning team. If you were going to go that route, I would have chosen Tobias Harris over Simmons if you were going to go with the guy who's on a winning team. So, yeah. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is sometimes, and it's just something that you got to roll with, man. You know, it is what it is. But hey, look, that's all I got for you today, folks. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure you follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Go to the Facebook page and get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. You've been listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. And remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.